so bad at this. Good morning, everybody, and happy Friday. Okay, I see a new name in the house. Welcome. Shanette, drop a comment.
Shanette was here.
What? No. Shanette, drop a comment and tell us where you're from.
I feel like Shanette was here yesterday. Good morning, Erin. Good morning, Emerald and Laura and Teresa and Tammy and Kristen and
Tammy. And some of you guys are not.
Yeah, that's all we
can't see your names. Okay, so.
And Brogan.
Good morning, Brogan.
And Shay.
So, good morning, Shay. Today is our money conversation. Just a quick recap before we get started into today's topic. Remember, on Wednesday, we did a quick live in order to discuss the new order starting in July. So in the case that you weren't on this call, let's just talk about it so you kind of have an understanding, so that, you know, let's say in the case that, you know, there is some topics that you're like, I really need to be there on this one, make sure to add it in your schedule. Also, if you know, it's not a matter if you know, whomever you know who will benefit from listening to like a specific topic, make sure to invite them as well. Okay, the reason why we're evolving into this is upon your request, you guys. Okay, so just so you know, we're doing this for you, for the betterment of our community, because we want to make sure that we're all going up together. Give me a thumbs up if you're all aboard on the evolving ship.
All aboard.
All aboard.
The greatness yacht.
Greatness yacht.
Okay, so let's go over.
Okay, so Mondays
This is how we're going to do this, okay? Entertainment department, smart department. Okay, so here's how I'm going to do this. I'm going to shout out the name of the day, and you're going to say what's happening on a day. Okay? Ready? Monday.
Mindset Mondays.
Tuesday.
Q&A. So let's talk about the logistics of it real quick. So what we're going to do end of day today, before end of day today, is we will drop down a form where you guys can fill out your questions. It's going to say your name, where you're from, and what your question is. Okay, we're going to be answering your
question is.
We're going to be answering your questions live. Okay, we're here to help you solve your problems. Okay, so we're here to help. That's what Tuesdays are for. Cool.
Yesterday I spoke with Brogan, and she has an accent because she is in Scotland, and so I just, in my head, I said I'm a wee bit tired because I think that she said that to me like twice yesterday. A wee bit.
Hello.
She said that people think she sounds a wee bit Irish. Okay. Anyways, Wednesday.
Money conversations, you guys. We got to get our relationship with money right.
Dollar bill, y'all. Thursday.
Real relationship conversation.
Hercules. Friday.
Friday's guest interviews. So starting next week, we're going to get into this trend. The form will be dropped today so that whatever questions you guys have, we're going to answer them. And also, just so you guys know, we are not discriminating on any questions whatsoever. First come, first serve. This is really how we plan on answering them.
It doesn't, I think as far as questions goes, if the same question is asked several times, we're going to answer that question. Just because you submit a question doesn't mean it will be answered, simply because we are going to, if there are so many questions that come in, we're going to take the ones that are the most common. We're going to take the ones that either we think had a really big impact on you, or the ones that are most common. So I would say there is discrimination, because if it's like, what's better, yellow or purple, I'm not going to ask your fucking question.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're
So-
smart.
They're smart, but I just want to say, to be clear, for the record, if you ask, I want to say there's no such thing as dumb questions, but there are such things as questions that are not beneficial to our audience, that if asked, doesn't make sense for us to answer. Does that make more sense?
Yeah.
Is that fair?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, totally. Okay,
You're
cool.
a little bit crazy. Maybe.
Cool. So, okay, you guys.
Irrelevant questions, exactly.
On the topic of 4th of July, since it is tomorrow and since Canada Day was 2 days ago, you know, talking about freedom is something that's really important, right? And today, because we're having a money conversation, we're gonna talk about financial freedom. Okay? So now, here's the thing. Who in here wants freedom? Drop a comment, say me. Or whatever you want to say, or an emoji.
Or you can put a little music symbol and me, and it will sound like this. Me. Make sure you put a lot of E's at the end. Otherwise, we won't know.
But when it comes to your finances, okay, there is 3 different aspirations that people have. Okay, I want you to write those down. If you're not taking any notes yet, this is when the note taking will start. Okay, write those elements and then circle one, whichever you're operating most on right now. Leave your ego aside, get real with yourself, because if you're not getting real with yourself, you're blocking your chances of evolving. Okay, so I know, I see that. So out of these 3, okay, write those 3 down, circle one, whichever one you're operating on the most right now.
What are they?
These 3.
What does that say?
Security, comfort, and freedom.
Security.
Circle it. And in fact, I would love it if you would drop a comment and tell us what it is.
Okay, so what is it why are they circling it? Which one are they circling? The one that what?
That they're operating on right now.
Right
when
now.
it comes to your relationship with money.
Okay. Security, comfort, freedom.
So,
Comfort, freedom.
here's the thing, you guys.
Absolutely.
How many of you guys said that you want financial freedom? Let me see. Tammy, Crystal, Lauren, Stephanie.
You guys have beautiful voices.
Security, freedom. Amazing, Amanda.
Security.
Erin, security. Tammy, freedom. Laura, but I want freedom. So Laura, you're operating from security, but you want freedom. Okay, I'm gonna share with you guys a little secret. If you are operating from a sense of security, you're blocking yourself from ever achieving freedom. I'm gonna repeat this. If you're operating from a sense of security, you're blocking yourself from achieving freedom.
Can I read some things?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I have 3 definitions. Security, freedom, comfort.
Oh, this is good.
What do these even mean? Okay, so let's think about this financially. What it means to be secure. Free from danger or threat. That is security. Freedom is a state of not being imprisoned or physically enslaved to. Okay? Comfort is a state of physical ease and freedom from pain or constraint. So, all of them have the word free or freedom somewhere in there. So, if we're talking about money and you want financial security, which is what a lot of people say, like I want to be financially secure, that means you are literally trying to just be free from danger or threat. That's low. Like that's, I don't know if low is the right word. That's, you're not reaching. Financial comfort is not being in pain, right? Like you're not stressed about it, or you're not constrained. And then freedom is the state of not being imprisoned to or enslaved. So I want to add another one. Say what you were going to say. I'm going to figure out this definition.
So here's the thing, you guys, and we're going to get into the details of how you can do it if currently you're operating on a state of security, but you want freedom. You will never be able to achieve financial freedom if you're operating from a state of security. You need to, once you understand that, you need to start changing the way that you operate, because otherwise you're just never going to achieve it. Okay, you will be desiring it for the rest of your life, but remember, your life is a byproduct of your actions, not your desires. How many people want to have a six-pack, but how many people actually get a six-pack, right? And the gap is the actions versus the desire. Okay, so we want to hone in on some clarity there, right?
Can I add in something else?
Sure.
Because this is something I want with money, and I think that it's very important, but it's not something that we hear all the time. Like financial freedom is something that we hear often. But I'm going to read another definition. And the meaning of this definition is a feeling of self-assurance arising from one's appreciation of one's own abilities and quantities, or the state of feeling certain about the truth of something.
Okay, are we ready to do this thing?
Wait, I didn't say what the word means.
Okay.
It's confidence. Financial confidence. Knowing that no matter what happens, I got me. What is the percentage of Americans that have less than $100,000 in their bank account? 96%?
Yep.
Less than $100,000 in a bank account or in a savings.
So, right, I would say, based off of that stat, only 4% of Americans do have financial comfort. Now let's define financial freedom.
Freedom?
Financial freedom.
Financial freedom?
Yes. To make sure that you guys are on the same page with us.
Well, if you take the definition of freedom and you put money into it, a state of not being imprisoned or enslaved or physically, or you're physically unrestricted. That's meaning nothing can restrict you from what you want.
Right.
You could buy a jet today.
You can do whatever, whenever, right? There's absolutely no restrictions, right? However, when you're comfortable, you're at ease, right? So know that there is a difference.
One is like, I'm not stressing about money because I know that if I have enough for a rainy day or whatever, right? And then the other is nothing can hold me back. I can do what I want, no matter how much it is, with who I want, when I want, for however long I want. Nothing matters.
Yeah. So consider, so here's what you should consider. Most people operate based off of a sense of financial security, right? They're always scared about spending their money. They're definitely not confident, and that's why they're seeking security. I'm going to get into the details with regards to what seeking financial security means about you and how you operate, right? And how that's actually blocking you from achieving financial freedom. But somebody who's financially comfortable, consider it the top 4% of Americans. People who have
Comfortable.
right $100,000 say like in their savings account.
Okay, so now to be fair, I want you guys to think about what amount of money would you need to feel secure? What amount of money would you need to feel comfortable?
Yes.
And what amount of money would you need to feel like nothing can hold you back anywhere?
So those are the ones who are comfortable. The ones who are financially free, they have an abundance. Okay, like not only do
Money
they have
trees.
not only do they have money in their savings account, like a good amount of money in their savings account, but they have passive income coming to them every
Flowing.
single month without them raising a finger. That
From
is
multiple streams.
right. And that is why they can do whatever they want, whenever they want, with whomever they want. Because money keeps on coming to them.
Cash flow.
Okay? Now that is not something that just happens by accident, right? And that's why if you're operating from a state of security, you're blocking yourself from financial freedom, guaranteed 100%. Okay? So you have to get through the steps. For one, if you're operating from a sense of security, you need to acknowledge it and you need to work yourself towards comfort. You don't want to operate based off of a state of security. And here's why. Because when you're operating from a state of security, for one, you're relying on others. You're relying on others, that's fucking irresponsible.
If there were a continuum, and then one end it was broke AF, and on the other end it was 100% free, where would you put yourself on the continuum?
Yeah. If this was 0 and this was 100. Put
This
your
is
score
like-
down. Let's get real with ourselves. Like where would you put yourself? Right? So if you're seeking financial security, and financial security is like I want to have a good paycheck. I want like a stable, the word stable. I want to have a stable paycheck and benefits, right? So that regardless of what happens, like I know that I'm expected a paycheck, right? That is mediocre state of thinking. You're relying on others, like the government, right? That in a situation like now is obviously figuring it out what they have to do for themselves. They don't care about what's happening to you. And that's why 40 million Americans now don't have any jobs, because their primary focus is security, right? So they're relying on others until one day, no more. Because here's the thing, when you seek financial security, you are basing your life based off of short-term rewards. The next 2 weeks. I know that the next 2 weeks I'm gonna get a paycheck.
Paycheck to paycheck.
So are you gonna live like every day is a fight? No. Like why should you? Because you know that money, that a mediocre amount of money is coming to you.
Crystal said, isn't it possible to be currently employed in the security category, but also utilizing law of attraction to manifest financial freedom? Yes, but here's one thing I'm going to say about law of attraction. You also need action.
Yeah.
You can't just sit on your ass, and Crystal, I know that it's not what you're doing, but you can't just sit on your ass and be like, I think that money's going to come to me. I think that money's going to come to me, and expect it to fall in your lap.
Yeah.
You still have to do some shit.
You have to take massive action. And here's why you're going to need to take massive action. Because the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to need to step outside of security and get yourself into the comfortable category. But in order to get yourself into the comfortable category, and we talked about it in our very first money episode, if you didn't check it out, then you need to. Okay, you need to not just earn money, that's security. I need to earn a minimum amount of money so that I can live in my little house and, you know, buy myself a pair of shoes here and there, and I'm good.
Look, if you're really happy that way, then you're really happy that way.
Sure.
It is not for us to say what amount of money will make you feel like you're good with you. And I'm also not going to say that money is the source of happiness. But I will say that the opportunities you can give yourself with more money can create things that make you happy, like memories, like vacation spent, quality time with your family, the value of not stressing about how much you're going to get on your next paycheck, the value of knowing that if I have an emergency where I need to go fly somewhere, or I need to help somebody pay for a procedure, a family member, or your parents going into, like a long-term care facility or something, that you have the ability to do those things, and those things create happy feelings.
Yeah.
But we're not saying by any means that money is the source. If you're not happy before you have money, you're not going to be happy with money, period. Just saying that first off.
So look, if you're seeking security, then you're limiting your chances of having opportunities. Opportunities might come to you, but because you're so stuck in your it's going to get me outside of my comfort zone, then you're not going to take action when opportunities come to you, right? You're blocking yourself. Now, if you're comfortable, then you do have more opportunities, but in limited amounts, right? Because let's say if you have $100,000 in your savings account, that's not a lot. That shit can run fast, right? Let's say if you guys lose your job, it's probably going to run out in a year. What are you going to do afterwards, right? So you have opportunities for a limited time, right? When you have financial freedom, you have unlimited opportunities, right? So here's the thing, right? Like, the reason why you don't want to operate from security, because know that your way of operation is short term. You're going to be good only until something will happen. And then it's going to ruin your life. Okay? And this is why, like, this goes in alignment with victim mindset. You're depending on others, so you are a victim. Yes, because you're not depending on your actions and capabilities. And that's why if you're currently operating from, a sense of security, then you need to get yourself to start operating from the comfort zone. But in order to do that, you're now not only focusing on earning, okay, I have an income. For one, it's always better to have an income than to not have any at all. So like, for as long as you're like having an income, I have massive respect for you, and I want you to know that, because there's a lot of freeloaders, especially in this country, and this is really fucking frustrating.
There's a lot of people not getting jobs on purpose because what they're getting paid from the government currently at this point in time is more than what they would be making from a job, and so they're not even trying. Like, that shit decreases the average of our society. Yeah. If you're one of them, stop. Go find there's always, like, there's so many people that are like, there's no jobs. I can't find a job. Make a job. Make one.
God, if you're right.
I'll guarantee you have a job. If you don't have a job, you have a job. Your job is to find a job. Yep. Because also, like, you're literally putting 100% trust in something you have no control over.
How irresponsible is that? Like, this is your fucking life.
And sometimes people we find ourselves in points where we're like, oh shit, like, okay, cool, I'm here, but with the intention of moving forward, with the intention of being responsible to ourselves.
So look, operating from a state of security makes you uncertain. You're always uncertain about the next day, the next year, the next whatever,
the next paycheck.
Right? You're not in charge. What a shitty feeling is to not be in charge. you guys. Like, it limits you so much, right? When you're in a state of comfort, then you are certain, but you don't have unlimited certainty, right? Because at some point it's going to end. So if currently you're operating from a state of security, here's what you need to do, right? For one, massive respect to you, okay? If you are like working to earn your money, okay? This is amazing, and this is what female empowerment is all about. But this is what female empowerment was all about 30 years ago, not now, okay? We want to teach you how to like be an empowered female and fucking rock this boat. Rock this boat. Get on the yacht, not on a little fishing boat. Okay? So if you want to get on the yacht with us, here's what you need to do. You need to take responsibility, okay, on increasing your income and having a system that goes towards your savings. Okay? So like we said, everything that we teach you, by the way, is from a master and a guru. His name is Grant Cardone. Okay, we're licensed to teach his stuff.
He's like the financial, personal development, and money-making guru, the way that Sarit and I operate within the world of health, fitness, body composition.
Yeah. So here's the thing, you guys. You need to focus on earning more money so you can save more money. And the way that, Grant speaks is 40%. He's like, hey, if Uncle Sam, called the IRS, right, is taking 40% out of your paycheck, then shame on you for not paying yourself 40% first. Because whenever you get your paycheck, you only get 60% of that. So you need to pay yourself first, okay? And then live your life based off of the 20%. So let's say if right now you're doing the math, right? You need to do the math right now, okay? Can you live off of that 20% of your actual paycheck? And I can guarantee you that 99% of you guys are gonna say, oh shit, no. So what is that gonna do? It's going to increase your standards immediately. And you're like, shit, I'm not making much money. Me living in that sense of security, that's low standards. That's a low way of living. I need to own my shit, right?
We hear often like people are like the golden like goal for like annual income. People be like, oh, I want to hit 6 figures. I want to get 6 figures. I want to make $100,000. If you think about this, we live in California. I don't know where y'all live, but in California, shit costs more. And so
drop a comment and tell us where you're from.
If we're thinking about $100,000, and then if you work for somebody else, if you are an employee, about 40% of that goes away. So we're
you're
say
starting with
0.6.
60 grand.
Now you have 60 grand for the year. Okay. What else gets taken out? So if you were to pay yourself another 40% because you want to save money.
For investing in your future, in opportunities that might come your way.
You now have $20,000 to live off of for an entire year. Expenses, rent. Like for some people's rent, what is it? Divide this by like $900. I don't know what it is elsewhere, but you can't find shit in California for $900. You have $22.
What do you mean? For what?
Sorry. You can pay 22 months worth of rent with 20 grand if you had a $900 rent.
Yeah, and let me see where you guys are from.
But that's not car payments, that's not phone payments, that's not food, that's not
student loans,
that's not credit card, that's not
debt.
That's not your new pair of shoes you got. That's not your car payment. Did I say car payment?
I think so. That's
not your auto insurance. That's not gas. Like, who could live off 20 grand a year?
Right. So, like, Stephanie's from SoCal. What? Like, the average rent in SoCal is, I would say, like
$1,400.
Like $1,800. Right? Like, how much do you pay for rent?
Average. Yeah, it depends. If you're renting, like, if you're renting a 5-bedroom house versus a studio apartment,
Yeah.
you're probably like average $1,800 to $2,000.
Right, like Houston, I don't think it's as much as SoCal, but it's going up. It's probably like 1,400, right? You guys, San Jose, shit, that's like, we're talking like
For real.
$2,000, right? New York, forget about it.
No idea about Scotland.
Yeah, no idea about Scotland. Hey, Laura, how much do you pay for rent?
Yeah, New York, forget about it.
New York is what? Shit. Like for a shoebox, you probably pay like $3,000. Perth. Yes.
Ozzy.
Oi. How much is rent in Perth? I'm curious. Michigan, right? Like Michigan is lower, right? Because that's the Midwest. It's probably like what, 1,200? Strat near Scotland. I'm curious to know how much is rent in Perth and Scotland.
2-bedroom apartment.
Yeah,
$2,200. Yeah, cheapest
Like-
in my
like how are
area,
you-
not good area.
so you-
Look it. Cheapest in my area, not a good area.
Yeah.
$2,200. Like if you were trying to save money and you're making $100,000 and the government will take 40 grand of that and you're trying to save 40 grand for yourself, like you forget about it.
Yeah.
20 grand's for the birds within a year.
Yeah. And here's the thing too. Here's the other thing that we learned from Grant. And we see it having changed our lives too. So like we're testimonies of it. Grant always says that you need to invest in yourself until your life completely changes. Mm-hmm. So here's the thing. If you're living from a state of security, you are never going to invest in yourself, which means that you're actually blocking yourself from providing yourself opportunities to learn and grow and allow you to make more money. Right? So you're actually getting blocked. Okay? And this is why these conversations, you guys, are transformative. They're so important to talk about because drop a comment. I would love to know who in your life has ever talked to you about this shit.
Dang, Mel Warren, a 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom, average $2,000 a month. Where is that at? I feel like 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom.
Probably SoCal. Like, do you guys see what we're talking about? Like, for one, in society, you're not being taught anything with regards for money, right? And that's why most of you guys are probably so terrified of money already because you're uncertain. You've never been taught.
Okay, so also let's talk about this money mindset and the thought of security. So most of the people that watch, like according to our analytics, most people who watch this are between the ages of 36 and 44. 36 and 44. Now, I'm 33. I know that we have, my parents are 60, so that would make, our parents lived in a time during World War II and the Great Depression. Okay. What I notice about my mom is my grandma, actually, my grandpa was in the Navy during World War II. My grandma's ridiculously thrifty. She has plenty of money, but she will shop at garage sales. She will buy everything discounted. She doesn't pay full price for shit. She will spend money when it's very valuable to her, like when it comes to gifts for the family and stuff like that. But she's incredibly thrifty. My mom saves Ziploc bags, literally washes them and reuses them until there are holes in them.
Yeah.
My mom saves butter containers and Cool Whip containers and everything. And what I think about is how in that era, there was a scarcity mindset everywhere. Shit is scarce. Like, what is happening? And we're in a very similar situation now. Not exactly, but the thoughts are the same. People are, oh shit, people were buying all the toilet paper. So what I'm saying is that it is very easy for us in this generation to have been passed down the beliefs from our parents, which is scarce.
Except that here is the only difference and why they had it better back then. Back then, when you put money in your savings account, okay, you gain 10% interest on that. Okay, so let's say, yes. So here's the thing, you guys. Let's say you had, because, right, let's say in order to get yourself to the comfortable state, to be in the top 4%, right, which is not even enough anyways, right? Let's say you have $100,000. Let's say we're talking 30 years ago. Let's say you had $100,000 sitting in your savings account, okay? That means that every year you gain $10,000 on it. That's pretty fucking awesome as far as I'm concerned, right? Like your money grows, right? But here's the thing nowadays. Banks, they ain't shit. You only earn 0.05%. Okay, so let's say you have $100,000 sitting in your savings account. You earn on it what, like $50 or $500 a year. Does that change your life? Absolutely not. So here's why being comfortable doesn't even matter these days. Okay, because your banks are not going to help you to achieve wealth. Okay, you need to do that through investments, and that's a whole other ball game that we'll have to get to within a couple of years. First, you guys, you need to get rid of this scarcity mindset, and you need to increase your standards. And that's why we have this show, so that if there's people in your life who are like, oh man, I don't want to go to work today, you're like, no, dude, I'm on a fucking mission because I got a big life to live.
I'm not sure what Denise is trying to say. She said, ladies, $1,600 is what I paid for my house payment, plus taxes and insurance, 4 acres, 2,500 square foot house. For one, if that's your house payment, not rent, then that means you bought it, which means you had to put money down and you have a loan, so now you're in debt. If it's not making you money, it's not an asset. 4 acres, okay, my daughter rents a house with 4 other girls in Grand Rapids. Each pays $600, which means the rent's $2,400 a month. I don't want to live with that many people forever. So, I mean, as an adult,
Right.
If you want to do that, yes, the rent will go down. That's fine. But what we're saying is, rather than making sacrifices like living with other people and whatnot, make more money. Earn more money.
Increase your standards. What are these girls doing? Like living in a house with 5 girls. If you are putting yourself in a position where you'd rather live with a lot of people, right? Like if you put 4 mice in a cage, I mean, I'm not saying that it has to be this way, but the chances of your daughter being misled by other people are greater. However, for a temporary amount of time, that's fine. That's fine. Like we all have to get through it. But the thing is that people get jaded by, seeking security, that it lowers their standards. Now, Denise, what I truly hope for your daughter is that, she's doing it right now in order to save money so that she can get herself into, living in a comfortable state, and with time on her path to financial freedom.
No one ever told me how to handle bills. No one ever explained what a lifestyle I want would cost me. My parents always told me pay myself first, but had a fear mindset and lack mindset when it comes to money. They didn't understand abundance or growth. With all the coupons, yes, absolutely. My mom, oh my gosh, wastes. So I'm like, the amount of time you spend clipping coupons, how much money could you have made in that time when you save 30 cents?
I wanna share with you guys something. There's nothing wrong with being thrifty.
No.
Okay, and
or frugal, yeah.
Right? But like as long as you're intentional. Like for example, Erin and I, we live in a very frugal way. Okay, because we put
for now
so much of our expenses into our brand.
Our business, ourselves, our personal growth and development,
and investments.
Not in
Not
cars.
in shoes, clothes.
I mean, I do need a new pair of shoes,
cars.
but I haven't bought any because I don't want to pay for them.
It's all a matter of priorities. So basically, what we're trying to tell you is that like if these conversations really hit home,
Let's turn that way.
then you may want to consider listening back to this so you can really take notes and assess where you're at in your life and where do you truly want to be. The truth is that anything is possible. You just have to believe in it. Okay, you have to believe in it, and you have to surround yourself in an environment that will help you to get there. okay? And that's why we have this show, because this is important. We know that we've never been taught this shit until, thank God for Grant. And we invested a lot of money in order to be able to learn his stuff and teach his stuff. And if you guys want to know, I'm not even going to lie to you guys about it. We invested $25,000, which for most of you guys are like, oh shit, there's no way in hell I'll ever do that. But guess what, you guys? You need to invest in yourself until your life changes.
No matter where it comes
And that's why if you're currently struggling, with how you're feeling about your body, you need to invest in the Ultimate Transformation Academy. Because if you don't invest in yourself, you're blocking yourself from living your best life. Right? But if you have this scarcity mindset, this is where the problem begins. With the fact that your relationship to money sucks. But we don't blame you because like when you go to school, you're not being taught that. Yes, you might be taught about the Great Depression, but you're not being taught about, okay, what are the lessons that we can extract from it? Right? So be intentional with how you live. Have a clear vision of how you want to live your life. We are rooting for you and we're fighting for you and we're no different from you whatsoever. Okay? We've just been doing this for a little bit longer. And in fact, some of you guys are probably ahead of us in the curve. And that's okay, because here's the thing, you guys. We're all students and we're all kids of God. Okay? We're all equal. But the one thing that blocks most of us is this. Right? Like having fear that's greater than your desire to find success. You can't think that way. You can't live that way. And that's why you have to be clear. You need to take the time to think for yourself. What is it that I really want? Get so clear where your desire is so strong, so that, let's say if you have to make a $1,000 investment in yourself, you're like, yes, I need this because this is going to take me one step ahead in my life. It's going to get me one step closer to living my best life of financial freedom, where I feel badass at all moments, instead of feeling trapped in your own skin, in your own bank account, like having anxiety every single morning when you wake up and then taking it all out on food. The reason why I'm saying all of this with so much passion is because I've been there. And I want this so bad for you, but you need to want this as bad for you as I want this for you. That's why we freaking show up at 6 in the morning, 6:30 in the morning. Not for our comfort, but for our desire of living our best lives, impacting millions of people, and bringing them up with us. That's all I got. Here's to your financial freedom, you guys. Tomorrow is here.
He wants out.
Tomorrow is Independence Day, and I'm telling you this, America is very special, okay? And the reason why I chose to come here, and the reason why I live 10,000 miles away from my family, is because in this country, literally anything is possible, okay? As long as you believe it and you act upon it. You can't just say, oh, I'm going to manifest it. And Crystal, I know that you're totally taking action, so like this is not towards you, but that's why like a lot of hippies, like we're kind of hippie in the way that we're connected with the universe, but don't be so hippie to the sense that where you're just like, oh, I believe in it so much.
So hippie that I'm wearing socks with sandals.
Where you're so hippie to the point where you're not taking any action, because you're like, the universe is going to bring it to me. The universe will bring it to you for as long as you're taking massive action. Yes.
For as long as you prove to the universe that you want it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to explain this window right here. I'm not sure about you, but I just realized that you can probably see this every day, and I'm like, this is a very unique thing. We did not put this.
But this is very symbolic.
We did not put this in our house. It was here when we moved in, and we think that it was either a post office or a bank. I think a post office or something prior to it being a house, and they left the window in here, and it's epic. And so it makes me think about money, because I'm like, just slide your money under here, please.
Yep.
Anyways, I figured on the topic of money that I would explain this strange window behind us.
Yeah. All right, you guys, on that note, here's to your full freedom, okay? Physical freedom so that your body can do whatever it wants, capable of doing all the things. Sometimes, like, you know, when we go to the beach in California, like, it's on a cliff, right? Like, sometimes I see, like, you know, whenever we just like stare at the waves and the surfers, whatever, you know, the kid wants to go down the cliff and the mom is like, no, I can't. Like, what sort of like sad life is that? Like, you're not going down on a cliff because you don't trust that your body can keep up with it.
I think the point is that there's a lot of people who say no to things they really want to do because they have physical limitations.
Yes.
And the physical limitations are based off of their current body and health status or fitness status. So we want to change that so you never feel limited. You never feel limited physically or financially. That's that.
Once you have that, you're able to be present and live your most epic life.
Limitless.
But until then, you will be blocked. Okay? And it all starts here. This follows and this follows too. So here's to your freedom, you guys. I hope that you enjoyed this episode. We will catch you on Monday with our new schedule, and happy July.
Bye.
Bye, guys.